Hello and welcome to round number 4 of the second season of AOR rFactor 2 Formula World Championship. We're here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Baku City Street Circuit. My name is Zach Jones. Alongside me in the commentary box is Curtis Kenyon, also known as NinjaRider. Curtis, welcome to Baku. Welcome to the streets. I'm sure we'll have a chaotic race ahead of us.
Oh, yeah. This track is always chaotic. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. I do apologize in advance if I happen to be a touch absent, as I will be running cams tonight. Today, tomorrow, whatever time zone you happen to be in. Yeah. Morning, early, like Zach. Yeah. So, yeah, don't mind me if I'm jumping around all over the place. Also, huge test for the new internet, because I've never streamed on this internet. This should be fun.
Well, it certainly will be interesting. And speaking of interesting, we're currently in the first part of qualifying, Q1, an 12-minute session where the drivers will go out and set their fastest lap time possible. The top 10 will progress through to Q2, where they will be having a chance to run for pole position. A few people have got penalties, I believe, that will not be out onto the track, but we've got 15 drivers taking part in this session. So we'll see who is currently out on the circuit first. Matthew Clip, I believe, is the first driver on the circuit, and he's currently going through, I believe that is turn number 16 he's heading down towards now. So he's going through turn 16 now. His corners, it's a bit interesting with Baku, especially how the track layout is. There are kinks which are counted as corners and corners that are counted as kinks, and so it doesn't really, the numbers don't really add up. But we've got 20 corners at this Baku City Street Circuit. And Matthew Clip's currently making his way down towards turn number 1 right now. He'll be the first driver to start his first qualifying lap here in Q1. Leading up to incredibly high top speeds. Braking with turn 1. Got to make sure you don't lock up the inside front left there and skate off down the runoff area. So easy to do coming in with such a high top speed. Through turn 2 now, activating DRS. The run down toward turn number 3. Matthew seems to be fairly clean and consistent so far. So we can go on with him now.
Yep.
We seem to have a lot of steering input there through turn number 3. Really doesn't do any of the tyres any good whatsoever. We get some more steering input as we go through turn 4.
Yeah, he's braking late.
Make sure. Braking late, he's got to compensate with a huge amount of turning. Oh, this is a good thing these are only qualifying tyres, because they wouldn't last very long if he was in a race run. There's been a bit of rear locking now, I believe, for Matthew. He now heads into the infamous castle section.
Whoa!
Oh, almost into the wall. Wild and out of control there for Matthew Clip, but he seems to continue along. Through turn 12 now, up the hill. Heading towards turn 13 now, flat out. All up against the wall. Through 14 out, down towards turn number 15. A heavy braking zone with a heavy wall to crash into if you don't make the right braking zone. Down towards turn 16 now. Pretty much the last effective corner on the lap, because it's now flat out down towards the line. Through turn 18, now into 19.
He's got the wings turned down like crazy.
He's going to hope to get that DRS through in towards turn number 20 now. Activating DRS. Yellow flags, but he'll be committed. Running towards the line. What's it going to be for Matthew Clip? A 1 minute 41.553. Puts himself just over half a tenth clear of Julian Klingmar, who is immediately beaten by Sergi Huraz, who puts himself with a 1 minute 40.347. Henlon puts himself 2.5 tenths behind as well. So early blows. They're setting some pretty fast lap times here early, the drivers.
So I was online early this morning as I was awake for some odd reason. I don't know why, but saw Brandon come out onto the track, and he was looking pretty steady. Let's go ahead and have a look at him as he's coming out of the pits here. Looking pretty steady, put on some decent lap times. Looked like he was trying a couple of different setup tweaks before anything, as he looks like he comes out behind Sergi Huraz.
Yeah, I was just speaking of Huraz, his competitor Craig Baxter is currently running towards the line, sitting in 13th. What's it going to be for Craig Baxter? It's going to be fastest. A pretty decent lap time there from Craig Baxter. A 1 minute 39.393. So the only driver into the 1 minute 30s. 1 minute 39. It's
That's
about a
quick.
second faster than Sergio Herrera. So Sergio's got some work to do here. Obviously, they've just got to be in the top 10 to get through to Q2 before the muscles really start to come out in terms of lap time. But we shall see. It's an early indicator of what things are going to be like in Q2. As let's see who's currently out on the circuit doing lap times. Sam Carpenter sitting in 15th place. He bailed out of a lap. He was setting the personal best first sector, but bailed out of a lap. Might have been a mistake there.
Yeah, probably in the castle section. Tail end of
Max Shepard, though,
section 2,
sitting
yeah.
in 9th. Max Shepard is currently on a lap.
Let's have a look.
Heading through sector 1 now.
Let's go on board.
Braking for turn number 3. Keeps the car under control. A lot more control than what we've seen in some of the onboards so far in this. It's more like an outlap, I would believe.
Yeah, but he's ramping it up. Oh, nice little cut there. Although he hit the sausage there on the inside of the chicane. Gotta watch out for that.
He's got that is suspension damage galore if you muck it up heading into over those sausage curves, because especially at this circuit where if you start to bump the walls, it can really start to bite back at you. So you've got to be careful. It's a race of attrition. You've got to be under control for pretty much the entire lap. Daniel Brantham sitting in 11th place. He's currently on a lap. He's running towards the line in the FAP Esports car. What's going to be for Dano Brantham? It's going to be 4th place. So 1:41 flat there for Dano Brantham. That's a good lap from him.
And he jumped in the
Himself
garage.
ahead of Matthew Clip. Straight into the garage. We'll see who else is currently on a lap. Matthew Clip is, and he's going fairly quickly in comparison to the people around him. So Matthew Clip heading down the hill towards turn number 16 now, towards the second sector split. And a lot of input yet again from Matthew Clip as he now heads up towards the line, flat out to the start-finish line.
Oh, just hitting the wall there.
Getting very, very edgy indeed. He's going to be coming towards the DRS line. There it is. Activates DRS, building up even more speed, over 330 kilometers an hour. As he comes towards the line, what's it going to be for Matthew Clip? Doesn't improve. So he immediately backs out of it. Well, he did improve, but he immediately backed out after that. Still 0.4 of a second off and at Brantham. So, well, look, Sesame Benatsky currently sitting in 13th is on a lap. And he goes 11th.
I was going to say, where'd he go? Oh, jumped up to 11th. Okay. Good stuff.
4 minutes left in the session. As we've got drivers heading it now onto their laps. Max Lister, Zesty Racing, sitting in 9th at the moment on the inside the top 10, has headed out onto the circuit to do probably what will be his final run in qualifying. Craig Baxter has just gone purple in the first sector. So let's see what Craig Baxter can do. Is he heading down now towards turn number 16? This man sitting currently first in this session. Head to turn 16. Under control. And it's another purple middle sector for Craig Baxter. He's going to be flat now, down towards the line, building up speed. The minimum wings are going to help if he's got them low enough in comparison to Sergio Jerez. Comes the DRS, activates that, and now it's going to be what run towards the line. What's it going to be for Craig Baxter? 39.2, so he improved by about 1/10 of a second, and he's extended his gap now to Brandon Henlon, who sits in second place. So Brandon has jumped up, and is that's an impressive lap time there from Brandon Henlon, put himself ahead of Sergio Jerez. So we'll see what he can do. As Liam Mangan, driving for Defiance, is in 9th place and is immediately demoted by Max Shepard. So Liam sits in 10th with Max Shepard sitting in 9th. Max Lister sitting in unlucky 11th. As we've got 2.5 minutes left in the Q1 session. Julian Kling Lamar is currently on a lap.
I don't think we've seen him yet. Let's take a look.
Heading into turn 16, down the hill towards what is essentially the final technical corner on the circuit. You actually have to brake for it. The rest of these corners are flat out towards the end. That speed into 3rd place. Sergio Jerez has dropped down to 4th. Bill Crowsey in 5th. Brantham 6th. 7th. Walker 8th.
Oh my!
Shepard goes 10th and
goodness.
And that was a about 3 seconds off his best time. So Julia is struggling a little bit here.
He's struggling, but he's got the top speed. He's going to have to try to keep that car under control. My God, that was fast. 340 kilometers an hour.
As Dano Branthome's currently on a lap in the FAP Esports car. Heading through turn 15 now. The corner where Brendan Hartley and Pierre Gasly had a huge incident in this year's real life Grand Prix in qualifying. But Branthome seems to have got it under control as he heads through turn number 19 now. And into turn 20. Coming towards the DRS line, activating it. And you can just see the increased speed boost as he runs towards the line. What's it going to be? Branthome, 1 minute 40.8. So that is an improvement, but he still is about 4.5 tenths off Philip Kraus, the car ahead of him. So that's it for Branthome. Let's see what the cars around him can do, though. As we've got Max Lister in 12th place, is currently on a lap.
No, let's take a look.
He's got cars ahead of him, though, which is going to be potentially causing an issue. But it also could act as a good slipstream. So this could be the ticket for Max Lister to get out of Q1 and into Q2. Let's see, he might just be too far behind the cars ahead. It might turn into dirtier rather than slipstream. Let's see what it's going to be for Max Lister as he's running towards the line. He's going to activate DRS. I don't know if he's going to be getting much of a tow from the cars ahead. What's it going to be for Max Lister? It's going to be 10th, so he's got to hope no one behind him improves. Or else he'll be out in Q1. Cars around those. Sesame Benatsky is improving. And he only goes 13th, so not enough to beat.
There's a finish, yeah.
Liam Mangan, though. Seems Liam hit the wall. And he's bailed out of the lap, so I think Max Lister has escaped.
Shepard's still out.
Max Shepard? Shepard is still out, so Max Shepard here could be the person that, sitting in 11th, could switch places with Max Lister and get himself into Q2. His teammate, though, is sitting in 2nd, so it'd be good for both cars to get out up to Q2. So let's see what Max has done through the middle sector. It's so fairly close. He's gone about 10th plus from the first sector, about even in the middle sector. It'll be all about this final sector. What can Max Shepard do? You'll be getting a tow from that car ahead, that's for sure. But what's it going to be for Max Shepard as he comes towards the line? 9th.
Ooh.
So he does manage to put himself into Q2, and Quokka also improved with a massive slipstream there. Philip Kraus goes up into 4th place, demoting Sergio Heroes down to 5th. So there we go, Max Lister sitting in 11th yet again, with Lister, Mangan, Robbins, Benatsky, Newman, Chadwick, and Paragos all eliminated here in Q1, unless we can see Juan, he puts himself up in 16th with Kieran not setting a time. So there we go. So the drivers going through to Q2. It's Baxter, O'Henlin, Carpenter, Kraus, Heraz, Quokka, Branthome, Clip, Shepard, and Klingler, all advancing to Q2. That was a very intense session, and it's only just going to get more intense as we head now towards Q2. The battle for pole position seems to be wide open, especially with those drivers, Curtis, picking up a slipstream on that main straight as other drivers are starting lap times. It seems to be working in their favor.
Yeah, you really got to time it, though. You got to make sure that, you don't follow too close. Because a lot of times you don't want to try to pass. You just want to catch that slipstream. But unless it's down a really fast straightaway, and at least in qualifying, I kind of expect in the second, well, I guess technically the first DRS zone of the lap, the shorter one, would probably be a good time to pass people when it comes to qualifying laps. But you really got to time that. You want to time it to make sure that you're at the end of your lap before you hit that slipstream, just to give you that little extra oomph. Looks like Q2 is starting, though.
Yeah, we're about to get underway. The driver's heading to the end of the pit lane because they know that the green light will be about to go on. I think, yep, Brendan O'Henlin is the first driver to the end of the pit lane. He'll be the first driver out in Q2 here. O'Henlin showing a very good turn of pace in this Q1 session. Sets the second fastest time. Maybe it could be a maiden pole position for Brandon O'Henlin. I think Craig Baxter might have something to say about that, but we shall see as the Green light is on at the end of the pit lane. They've got 7 minutes to set their fastest time, with the top 10 all progressing. Some drivers may choose to not do a time and start on whatever tyres they wish, but what the drivers have to remember is the time that they do their fastest time on here in Q2, they have to start the race on. So if Brando Henlon here does his fastest time on the ultra soft tyres, it'll be the ultra soft tyres that he'll start the Grand Prix with. So you could see some strategy potentially, but this is a fairly low degradation circuit, so
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
we
And
may see a fairly straightforward ultra soft strategy.
you probably will. I would expect it ultra soft up to soft, maybe, or maybe even super soft. This track is really easy on tires, but only 30 some odd laps. So yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a toss up there, but we'll have to see as we get into the race. But I can tell you this qualifying is starting to heat up.
The city of Baku, a fantastic circuit. It's amazing that they're able to combine the new and the old parts of the town and create an epic circuit. In 2016, in the real life Grand Prix, was met with a lot of criticism as it was a very boring race. And then 2017 came and everyone's like, wow, okay, this is a fantastic race circuit. Long straights, heavy braking zones, it really does aid overtaking. But Brando Henlon's currently running towards the line to start the first lap of qualifying 2. So let's go on board with him now as we head down towards turn number 1 now, braking just before the 100-metre mark. You don't want to lock the inside front left. Brandon missing the apex on the inside left slightly, so we head towards turn 2. Bit of a front locking of the left from Brandon, but he seems to be okay. Short shifting up to 5th gear. Activating DRS now, running down towards turn number 3. Braking after the 100-metre mark for turn number 3. Right. Nails it nicely. We're over the brakes here from Brandon as he heads into 5. And a horrible lockup. Manages to get around the corner, but he pretty much ruined this lap so far. Into turn 5 now through the first sector split. It will be purple as he's the first driver to complete a sector so far this lap. As he heads now down towards turn number 7, the final quarter before the castle section.
God, you got to clip those just right. Otherwise, you just slap bang into 4 different walls while you're trying to make your way out and out of the way of the track. Oncoming traffic, I should say. But nailed it perfectly and is looking really nice right now. And they're going robot for some reason. Gotta love Discord sometimes, unfortunately, as we're still on board here with Brando Henlon. Coming up on to the start-finish line, DRS activated. Kept it straight. Let's see how he does. It's going to be a 140.058. Craig Baxter promptly beats that with a 139.3.
7 tenths.
And for some reason, I am losing connection to Discord. And everything crashed. Well, it's going to be like that today. Zach, can you hear me? Awesome. Oh, boy. Zach. Yeah, I'm losing Discord connection. We'll be right back, folks.
Welcome back. We're having some slight technical issues, but we're going to have a bit of a radio stream now. It's the final dying moment of Q2. Craig Baxter currently in the box seat to get pole position. He's a tenth and a half clear of Sergio Herrera, who's sitting in second place, but Craig Baxter is setting a time now that potentially could seal the deal for pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He heads through turn number 6 now. Herrera is also on a lap, so Sergio Herrera a 43.9 in the first sector. By comparison to Craig Baxter's 43.6, so 3/10 to Craig Baxter in the first sector alone. Herrera the 31 flat in the middle. We'll see as we now wait for Craig Baxter to come up towards the second sector split. He's currently heading through turn 13 now through 14 and into the critical corner of turn number 15 over the sausage curb on the inside. As we've got Sam Carpenter going purple in the middle sector with a 30.3. That's 7/10 faster than Sergio Herrera. As Philip Kraus goes third place, O'Hanlon sits in fourth. Carpenter is down to sixth. Max Shepard, Sam Carpenter goes second. My apologies. So Sam Carpenter has beaten Sergio Herrera, but what's it going to be for Craig Baxter? It looks like it's going to be pole position. There's going to be no one to beat him, but he runs towards the line. What's it going to be for Craig Baxter? He backs out of it and does a 39.6 across the line. So Craig Baxter on pole position for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix ahead of Sam Carpenter, Sergio Herrera, Philip Kraus, Brandon O'Hanlon, Max Shepard, Matthew Klipp, Julian Klinglemar, Dano Brantham, Oliver Quokka, and Max Lister there sitting in 11th place. So a very close session in the end. Sam only managed to miss out by pole by less than a tenth of a second. Sergio Herrera a tenth and a half off, and then Philip Kraus was half a second off Craig Baxter's best time. So bit of a gap there across the field, but it's Baxter on pole with Sam Carpenter, who's looking very quick in the speed track, starting alongside him on the front row with Sergio Herrera, Craig Baxter's main championship rival, right behind him in third place.
Yeah, but look at Phil Kraus, Brandon O'Hanlon having a great showing, Matthew Klipp having a great showing. This is not bad.
The drivers will have their warm-up session to make sure everything's in order in terms of pit lane and tyres and fuel and etc. Race pace. And then we'll be getting underway here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 36 laps of the Baku City Street Circuit. 36 intense, action-packed laps, I am sure. Especially considering the races we've had here previous. There we go. Craig Baxter, another pole position this season. People who weren't able to join the server previously that may be racing can now join the server again. So we've got 17 drivers. Kieran Chadwick is 50-50 if he actually will be able to race. But we shall see. He's got 10 minutes before we go green for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The drivers will now be making their way to the end of the pit lane to do their practice starts and practice pit lanes and practice pit stops, and everything that you could practice will be practiced now before they get underway. Especially with those people starting outside of the top 10, they'll be looking at tyre strategy, what they could potentially be doing in terms of mixing things up. Obviously, a lot of drivers will be starting on the ultra soft compound tyre if you're inside the top 10, with the super and just regular soft tyre available as well. So you could mix things up. If you're Max Lister, for example, you're starting 11th, the first driver that could be starting on a tyre other than the ultra softs, he could do something different as he comes out on a set of soft compound tyres, does Max Lister here in his warm-up session.
Probably looking to make their long run, try to gain some positions before those tires wear out, and they're going to last quite a while here at Baku. It should be very interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on anybody who's on softs. Not exactly sure how long the tires will last here, but hey, it's just another twist in the story, if you will.
We've had a few of those so far this season. Obviously, the start of the season with Craig Baxter taking the win ahead of Sergio Herrera, and then Sergio striking back in Bahrain, grabbing the win from Craig Baxter after Craig had a screen freeze, and then technological issues for Sergio Perez in China, where he had a NVIDIA driver issue that caused him to lose quite a few seconds, and for Craig Baxter to come through and take the win close in the end, but for him to take the win nonetheless. So the championship battle is on. It's time for Sergio Perez to strike back if he wants to close this championship gap. He's got a little bit of work to do, with Craig Baxter starting on pole position for this Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
A little bit of work, but it shouldn't be too bad for him, I don't think. A couple positions to make up. And by a couple, I mean he wants to get in the lead. And it'll give Craig a run for his money, that's for sure. But we'll have to see here, and I'm sure there's going to be some differing setups, different wing angles coming into play here, as some drivers opting for a little bit more downforce rather than having all the top speed that they'll have on the two long straightaways. They'll just be able to cut through the corners like a warm knife through butter. We're watching Max Lister have a bit of a pit stop practice here. Now, what are the rules here? You cannot cross the white lines at all?
You can cut the chicane part of the pit lane, but it's in terms of faking to look like you're going to go into the pit lane and then not. It's sort of the pit lane entry line you can't cut. So, yeah, it's a bit of interpretation, especially down here at the pit lane exit. You can go across this curb, but you can't run on the exit curb on the outside. So we'll see Max just doing it nicely there. That's completely legal. So it'll be straightforward. If you just keep it within the white lines, you'll be completely fine. But we're talking about setup differences. I know for a fact that Sam Carpenter is running with a significantly low downforce setup by comparison to his people around him. So Sam is going to be like a rocket on these straights. So if he can get a decent start, I can definitely see him taking the lead here into turn number 3 at the start of this Grand Prix. Because he'll be like a rocket down the straight, especially if he gets into the slipstream of Craig Baxter.
Oh, and we'll have to see. I mean, Craig usually rockets pretty far into the lead on the start. One of the better starters here in the RF2 league. But like you said, I mean, Sam Carpenter's just been able to pull some tricks, especially before in the last season. You know, gave him a run for his money a few times. So we'll have to see. Again, just kind of waiting with bated breath at this point while warm-up is underway. I have to admit, though, I am impressed by Brandon O'Henlin. Oh, did I lose Zach again? Oh, okay. No, he just okay. But what we should do is go ahead and go through the championship order while we have a look here at warm-ups.
Yeah, so the championship is incredibly close, especially with some penalties after China with Sam Carpenter, the main victim. A minute penalty for post-race carts. Dropped him from 4th down to 12th, so outside of the points, loses a lot of points there for Sabre. But looking at the Drivers' Championship standings now, we'll just pull them up here. It's Craig Baxter currently leading Sergio Perez by 7 points, as Craig won the first and third round, and Sergio won the second round of the championship. Both of these two haven't been outside the top 2 at all so far this season, so it's fairly close to the top. 33 points behind, it's Brandon O'Henlin sitting in third, first podium for him after those post-race cuts in China. Fourth place is Sam Carpenter, 25 points. 1 point behind him, it's Philip Kraus, followed by Noah Chiller, Kieran Chadwick, Matthew Klipp, Dana Brantham, Jukka Lalo, and Adam Crane, completing the top 11. But the top 16 drivers in the championship so far have scored points. So
yep,
that's definitely positive with such a competitive field. So we'll see what there's a few drivers missing today.
Yeah,
that were point scorers. So it's a good chance for some non-point scorers in the opening 3 rounds to potentially get their first points this season.
I'm kind of just scrolling down through the championship order, and it looks like Sestimir Bernatsky has probably the most to gain here. He's only scored somehow he scored a 25th. Don't know what happened to that. I think that was a penalty or something.
That was a disqualification.
Oh, disqualification. Okay, yeah. And then he DNF'd in round 2. So, yeah, he's got some places to make up for sure. He's definitely got a lot of work to do. And he's been showing some consistency. So, definite possibility there. All he needs is a top 10. That'll bump him up pretty far in the championship order. And it'd be good to do that, considering this is only a 14-round season. And it being the 3rd round, it would definitely be impressive as we move on through the championship.
Yeah, just looking at the Constructors' Championship, it's fairly straightforward in terms of the top two. Obviously, Craig Baxter hasn't got a teammate yet. He does now. He's got Liam Magnan, who's doing his first Grand Prix today. But Surge's esports team has got Oscar Ortiz in the team, and he hasn't raced a few races. So the championship in terms of constructors is separated by 7 points, by simply because of the fact that the drivers are. But 19 points behind them, it's Sabre Racing, who have got a 7-point gap to Thrive, who sit in 4th place. Royal Blue sit in 5th with 20 points. 1 point behind them, it's the all-powerful Zesty Racing team sitting in 6th. And then followed by them, it's VD Sport with 12 points. And then a 3-way tie for 8th place, Grus, FAP, and VRT, all sitting there with 10 points. And then Sabre Junior in 11th with 2 points, the only other team to score points so far this season.
Right. Yeah, no, it's still very close. Anybody's game at this point when it comes to constructors. And once Oscar Ortiz comes back for Sir G and Defiance's second driver comes through, that should hot up there in the lead of the Constructors' Championship. And really, that third, fourth place, Sabre versus Thrive Vulcan, is very close as well. But pretty much in the top 4 is still very up and up in the air at this point. But again, it's all about these early races, just trying to establish a little bit of dominance, as it looks like warm-up is just about to end. It got about a minute to go for these drivers to figure out their racing setups.
Just you wait. Zesty Racing will come back. We'll be coming back strong throughout the rest of the season. Might have a bit of an assault to see if we can at least beat Thrive, and maybe have a go at Sabre, but we shall see. Max Lister, golden opportunity, starting in 11th, could potentially move up a lot of places today using an alternate strategy, and Kieran Chadwick potentially if he does make it to the start of the race, but we shall see. But we just got to watch out for the start of this race, because the castle section, all you need is one car to block the track.
Yeah.
So we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, that's going to be a touchy, I guess is the way I want to put this. Yeah, it's going to be a very touchy section of the track, and we have seen a couple of odd passes we saw last season going into that section. Everybody's just going to be really careful. Just be careful. Don't touch anyone. And if you happen to go in there double file, give up the position if you're in the position to give it up, or vice versa to make the pass. But you better make sure that pass sticks, or else there's going to be some hefty consequences. And I have a feeling there's going to be quite a bit of stewards' inquiries out of this race.
We love ourselves a steward inquiry here at AOR. But the checker flag has come out for the end of warm-up, and we're about to get underway here for 36 laps. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at the Baku City Street Circuit. Craig Baxter starting on pole position, ahead of an old friend, Sam Carpenter.
The way you say that makes me wonder if they're actually friendly.
We'll see. I'll give them about I'm going to say a kilometre before we find out if they are going to be friendly or not.
1/6 of the track, easy.
Yep. That'll take us to what, maybe turn 3
ish.
We'll establish friendship by then. I think if it's going to be I insist, no, you go through, or if it's just going to be tooth and nail straight into the wall.
I'll take tooth and nail for 400.
Rightio, deal.
2 more cars out on the track right now. Phil Kraus obviously on the track, and Sergi trying to get in his little bit of seat time. Don't know how much practice he's had, but he'll definitely have a race on his hands considering he's starting 3rd. Looks like he's going in for a bit of a pit practice here. Gotta get on those binders hard to make that work.
Attention personnel, leave the grid now.
And we are back. Everybody lined up to take on the warm-up lap here at Azerbaijan. The Baku circuit will give us some exciting racing, and this is more or less the calm before the storm, Zach.
It is indeed, and Craig Baxter will be leading the charge into turn 1. He starts on pole position ahead of 36 laps of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Behind him, it's Sam Carpenter for Sabre Racing. Sitting in third, it's Sergi Huraz for Surge E Esports. In fourth place, it's Sam Carpenter's teammate, Philip Kraus. And in fifth place, it's Brandon O'Hanlon for Thrive Vulcan Racing.
Sixth place will be Shepard. Looking pretty good there as he moves, trying to just finish in the top 10, I think. Matthew Klipp, seventh place. Good showing from him. Klingelmar coming in at eighth. Danov Brantham from ninth. A little bit of an improvement there over last season. Hoping he can secure a much higher position than that. And Daniel Kwoka in 10th place in an unnamed team car.
In 11th place, it's Max Lister for Zesty Racing, the sole Zesty Racing car out on the circuit today. Behind him, it's Liam Mangan for Defiance Racing. And then in 13th place, we've got Danny Robbins for RBA Racing, followed by Sesemir Banatsky and Artu Niminen.
Right. The start of this is going to be absolutely crucial. We've already mentioned how much Carpenter has his setup completely different than Baxter's. That one is going to be one to watch for sure. Sergi Huraz is back there too. Probably just going to sit there and watch the two go at it and maybe sneak a pass through.
I think it's a good idea. I think, especially, I don't know if he knows how fast Sam is in a straight line, but Sam is going to be a rocket here off the start. If he can get a good start and get in the slipstream down towards turn number 3, he can definitely take the lead of this Grand Prix. It's just about the bendy bits in the middle of the racetrack. They're just going to cause Sam the problem with the lack of downforce on the front end. But they're heading now into turn number 16 now on their formation lap.
You know, I'm kind of wondering what Phil Kraus is thinking right now, too, considering he's sitting 4th place in front of, Sergi, Carpenter, and Baxter. Another spectator position, I suppose, for what could be one crazy race, I think. But if I were Phil, I would back off and just let them duke it out for a couple of laps, at least until DRS is enabled, and then start to go after him. And even then, I would probably do it a little bit slower, maybe even wait after a pit stop to finally really go after it.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. If Sam Carpenter can get in front, he can definitely help his teammate by slowing down the pack and allowing Phil to either close up or do something different with the strategy. But Craig Baxter's now coming up to line up into his grid slot, pole position. Carpenter warming up the tyres there on the right-hand side. Baxter's into his grid slot. Sam Carpenter doing a little bit of a burnout. Angling towards Craig Baxter is Carpenter, so that's a very aggressive looking grid slot. He's definitely showing his intentions there as the final cars are lining up on the grid. We're getting ready before we get underway for 36 laps for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We now wait for them to line up into their grid slots. We now wait for the lights. As we now build towards those 5 red lights. Lights out, away we go, and it's a fairly good start there by Sam Carpenter. He gets a little bit of wheel spin there in the second phase. Craig Baxter leads here as they go into turn 1. Sergi trying to go around the outside, but Carpenter switches him off. But here comes Philip Kraus. He's going to try and go around the outside into turn number 2 for good measure. Ooh, and Kraus goes around the outside there of Sergi Huraz. So Kraus up into 3rd place, but Baxter leads. Carpenter coming at him now. It looks like he's not going to be close enough to get close to make a move. We can see O'Hanlon there in the background with Horaz battling for position, but it's Baxter who leads ahead of Carpenter, Kraus, Horaz, O'Hanlon, and Shepherd, I believe, sitting still in 6th place, with Klingmar sitting in 7th. So good start from then. Magnan up to 11th, Lister down to 12th.
Seen a lot of front lockups here on the first lap. I know this is one of those tracks where you just have to have those warm tires going, but you really don't want to flat spot these tires, especially the fronts. Don't need that hopping around.
Yeah, it can be all sorts of trouble, especially in the bumpy middle part of the circuit. Into the old town they go, but it's Baxter who leads as he goes through the cattle section for the first time. We've got Sam Carpenter sitting there in, sliding all over the place, and I've just realised that these guys are on the super soft compound tyre. So strategy played by them means that they are going to be in a pretty good stead heading into this race. Baxter on the supers, Carpenter on the supers, I believe, as well. Kraus in the background. It'll be interesting to see what Horaz is on. Let's have a look. Sergio Horaz is actually on the ultra soft compound tyre, so he should have a performance advantage over the top 3 ahead of him. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening as they come now down the back straight, onto the front straight, to complete lap number 1 here of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's going to be Baxter with an advantage as he comes towards the line.
I have to admit, I am a little bit surprised that Kraus decided to make the pass into 3rd place. I thought he might just let Sergi kind of go for it, but that said, Horaz kind of left a little bit of room there coming into turn 2. So, I mean, you might as well take it when you can and just draft your teammate. We've seen these guys work together before. That's Carpenter and Kraus. They can usually pair up fairly well and potentially give Baxter a run, you know, maybe towards the next pit stop. I don't know about the checkers, but we'll have to see, as Baxter can usually crank on the juice and really pull away.
Yeah, it definitely is possible, especially towards the end of the Grand Prix where he starts to put in those really fast lap times. But just having a look in the midfield, it's getting fairly dicey. Max Lister sitting in 12th is in a bit of a battle pack at the moment with cars ahead and behind him. He's got Liam Mangan ahead that he's going to try and get up into 11th place. But here comes Daniel Robbins into turn number 7. Will he make a move?
Oh,
no,
don't do it there.
Be very bold to make a maneuver into turn number 7. And Danny knows that for certain. Lister stays in 12th place. Cessna Banatsky, car behind, is also fairly close. So they're jostling for position as the top 6 are breaking away here from the rest of the pack. Matthew Clips leads the sort of the 7th down train as Max Shepherd's is sitting in 6th. Has actually disappeared up the road a little bit, so there's a bit of a gap here going. It'll be interesting to see what this top 6 can do as they're all very, very close indeed to each other. As Sergi Horaz actually went purple in the first sector, Carpenter purple in the middle, as they're now going to be coming up to complete lap number 2. We'll find out who's gone fastest in the final. I'd imagine it'll be someone in the slipstream. Baxter, though, leads this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sergio Horaz closing up to Philip Kraus. Wouldn't be close enough to make a move, you wouldn't think yet.
Oh my goodness.
But he's very close indeed, and he might have the assistance of DRS this time round as they head into turn number 2 now. Let's see, will he get DRS? Not this time round. Have to wait another lap for them to get DRS.
Scoreboard reporting that it was Sergi Horaz who got the fast lap that one by 145.117. Just a touch faster than pretty much everyone else ahead of him.
Yeah, it definitely helps to be in the slipstream. You can save fuel and gain a performance advantage over your rivals, especially those that aren't sitting in the slipstream like Craig Baxter. As Max Shepherd's starting to fall off this train a little bit, he's got to be careful because he'll fall into basically oblivion. If he's not too careful, he'll be just on his own for the rest of this race. As he's got a gap to the front, a gap behind. Doesn't want to have a gap in front though. As Craig Baxter goes purple in the first sector with a 46.2. That's a couple of tenths faster than anyone else, apart from Philip Kraus, who looks to be the only guy that can match those type of times. As Horaz is actually starting to lose a little bit of time with the Sabres and starting to fall into the clutches of Thrives. I think Shepherd hit the wall there in the background.
Looked like it, yes. O'Hanlon looking to make a move on Sergi Horaz. Getting real close there.
This could potentially would be a move. Here he comes. Here comes Brandon O'Hanlon. in the slipstream of Sergi Herraz. This could be a move here for 4th place in this Grand Prix. He's going to go to the inside. It'll become the outside for turn number 1. They're going to be side by side now as they head down toward turn number 1. O'Hanlon pulls through and he's up into 4th place in this race. And he manages to make the corner nicely and he puts himself up into 4th place. Matthew Clip making a move potentially on Walker.
It could be a pass here. I believe DRS is enabled at this point.
I believe so, and it's very close between Sergi and Brandon again, so we could see this position switch yet again after a couple of corners.
Don't think
It
Sergi.
looks like Brandon, he manages to hold on, so that's good from Brandon.
I don't think Sergi got the exit out of turn 2 that he was looking for to really make that happen, so no pass there this time.
Max Lissillo, 13th place, is side by side as they head into turn number 3 with Sesmir Banatsky, and he puts himself up into 12th place. But here comes Sesmir. Will he go for another move? No, he thinks better of it, knows he's getting into that part of the circuit that's very difficult to handle. It's Philip Kraus starting to close up to his teammate because he knows behind him it's the man on the ultra soft tyres that has got some pace in the form of Brandon O'Hanlon. So we'll have to see what happens here.
Still keeping an eye here on Max Lister, Sesmir Bernatsky. Everybody very close up through there. Thought there might be a pass going into the castle section, but wisely everyone kind of backed off and was like, hey, let's not do that.
That'd be very bold indeed. But let's see as the leading pack head on to the main straight to complete lap number 4. What can be done in terms of slipstreaming? DRS is activated for Philip Kraus on Sam Carpenter. Will he be able to close up enough? No, not for a move, as Craig Baxter does a personal best. So does O'Hanlon. It's Philip Kraus there with a little bit of a lock up into turn number 2. He's closed up though on his teammate, and into the slipstream he goes. Got to make sure he doesn't fall into the clutches of Brandon O'Hanlon behind. The Thrive car looking very quick indeed in the early stages of this Grand Prix. Baxter leads though ahead of Carpenter, Kraus, O'Hanlon, Herraz, and I believe Shepard, who's starting to fall away from this train.
Looks like we missed the pass between O'Hanlon and Sergi Herraz. Dang. I was kind of hoping that was going to be crazy, but Sergi still looking fairly stable. He might be able to make a comeback here as we move on down the line. But he is also on the Ultra Softs, and with the top 3 on the Supers, I have a feeling they're going to have to pit first. And man, they really got to watch that wall coming out of, what is that, turn 16? No.
Philip Kraus almost hit the wall then to turn number 8.
8, right, okay.
Yeah. It was almost all she wrote almost. It was very, very close indeed.
Totally meant to do that.
He seems to be okay. As Artur Niemanen is fairly close to Sesmir Banatsky, but that's settled down.
Kuoka and Matthew Clip looking to get dicey here as they make their way on to the final section of corners.
They are indeed, but I was just going to have a look at the battle at the front. Here comes Brandon O'Hanlon on Philip Kraus. He's in the slipstream. Will he try and go for a move around the outside to turn number 1? Kraus shuts the door, so he's not able to make a move this time around, but bit of wheel spin there. Wobbling all around like a fish. Philip Kraus into turn number 2. Will O'Hanlon be able to get the exit? No, he spins up the rears massively. DRS for both of them, so it's going to negate any effect that O'Hanlon might get. And there's in the slipstream though, O'Hanlon not able to get through, but he is definitely closer than he ever has been before to the back of that Sabre car.
Trying to see when these tires are going to go out. Let's see here.
The Ultras certainly seem like they are starting to go.
Which is kind of surprising. It's only been, what, 5 laps?
Yeah, we're on the 6th lap of the Grand Prix.
Right, so you would think that they would last at least 3 more. But, you know, that said, I'm pretty sure the Super Softs are probably starting to really come into their own, especially after they got a lot of heat in them. Drivers have figured them out as far as how they're going to react in the corners, but you can see right there, Brandon O'Hanlon's front end is starting to really wash out quite a bit, and that's got to be all due to tire degradation.
Yeah, both him and Sergi are on the ultras, so these two are probably going to have to pit and fall away a little bit in the next couple of laps. But we shall see. Sergi definitely closing in here on Brandon O'Hanlon. Is in the slipstream. Let's see if we've got on board now with Sergi. Perez heading down the main straight towards turn number 1. He's closing. He's going to go to the outside for turn number 1. Let's see how close it's going to be here with Sergi. Perez going to try and go around the outside into turn number 1. Performs a switchback, but O'Hanlon moves across to defend. Not able to get through. Fantastic defending there from Brandon O'Hanlon. He manages to keep Sergi down into 5th place. So it's still very close though. Here comes Sergi. He's going to go for the outside again for turn number 3. They're going to be side by side now as they head down towards turn number 3. And that's Sergi ahead, but he misses the escape road. And he's also joined by a Sabre. That's Philip Kraus down the escape road as well. So chaos here as the Sabre and the Sergi car go down the escape road. That promotes O'Hanlon up to 3rd. Carpenter stays in 2nd. Max Shepard's now up to 4th. So Philip Kraus and Sergio Harris down to 5th and 6th respectively. The gap between the rest of the field has allowed them to keep themselves in the top 6. But chaos here, the Baku Grand Prix, as they both just went skating down the escape road.
Yeah, well, you know, when you brake too late, that's what happens. And that's the thing with Baku. You cannot brake check here. There is no room for error. You have to hit every single spot on the track that you were supposed to hit. Braking, apexes, everything. Otherwise, you end up having that happen. Now, luckily, it looked like both of them managed to keep it out of the wall. And we didn't exactly see what happened with Philip Kraus. Now, he might have locked up in the middle of the corner, which is why he ended up the way he did. But luckily, he was able to reverse and get out of there. Sergi really just got completely messed up on that little exchange, though, and he'll end up in 6th place with Phil in 5th.
Archie Niminen is retired from the race, so he's only made a couple of laps into this Grand Prix. But we shall see now. I reckon there'll be flat spots galore on those 5th and 6th runners. See if Sergi comes in. Now he's going to continue on like a trooper. So Max Shepard sitting in 4th place, was 6th a couple of moments ago. Oh, and a lock up into turn 1 for Max Shepard. So his ultras are starting to struggle. And the top 2 are starting to break away here from
Phil is having
Brandon
issues.
O'Hanlon. And Philip starting to struggle on these super soft compound tyres. Behind him, though, it is Sergi Perez on the ultra soft.
Oh, Sam Carpenter. Looks like he had a problem. And Brandon O'Hanlon has passed him.
Carpenter down the escape road again. So chaos here as the fronts are starting to cause an issue. Locking up and skating down the escape roads. Craig Baxter just got to make sure he doesn't crack under the pressure here. He's seen everyone behind him do it almost. He's got to be careful not to join that list.
Well, I mean, he is one of the smoothest racing drivers I've ever seen in my, 12 years of simulation racing now. Honestly, I don't see him locking up. Maybe a rear, depending on how he's got his car set up, because the balance at this track is so important. And I'll be honest with you, it's very slick. I was on practicing a little bit earlier, just trying to get the brake balance right. Even with half tanks, I had to mess around with it, and as fuel burned off, it really did feel like the whole car would change based off of the fuel loads and everything else, but the brake change would change. Everything changed. You had to adjust on the fly in it, and we've all seen it. Craig Baxter can do just that.
It certainly has helped that all his competitors around him have skated down the escape road, giving him a massive gap. About 6 seconds as he crosses the line to start lap number 9. As Brandon O'Hanlon sits in 2nd place, Sam Carpenter hunting him down very close indeed. We can see a move between these two very soon. As Sam Carpenter with a poor exit. Might be able to close back with DRS. Here comes Sam Carpenter on Brandon O'Hanlon. Will he be close enough to make a move? Not going to happen into turn number 3. But he's very close. Oh! Wags the dog there from Brandon O'Hanlon. All over the show. Starting to struggle on these ultras. You can definitely tell Sam Carpenter's got to either make a move quickly or just wait for him to pit.
And honestly, at this point, just wait for the pit. You might as well go with the safe route. It's still fairly early in the race. I mean, yeah, you got to start thinking about things, as far as making moves and maybe his next pit stop. But honestly, I think I would just wait for it because I have a feeling Brandon's going to be coming in here either this lap or definitely the next lap. As he, oh, it looks like he just barely clipped the wall there, or just got a little bit too far up on the curb, and that skidded him sideways.
Put him all out of shape as he heads into turn number 15. Carpenter just biding his time, waiting. But as he does this, Craig Baxter skates and disappears up the road. Let's see what Seb Carpenter can do. Will O'Hanlon pit? I don't think he is. No, he's going to continue on. Sam Carpenter's closing in the slipstream. He turns off the DRS though early to Sam Carpenter, so he's not going to commit for a move this time round. Very clever driving there from Sam Carpenter. He wants to save fuel, so he sits in the slipstream and turns off the DRS early. He doesn't want to make a move yet.
And you would think you would just leave the DRS on and let off the gas. Very odd.
Very odd indeed. It'll help with the engine braking to have the DRS
True, that is true.
closed. But does it again, so he's not wanting to make it. He doesn't want to go through, but he's starting to make a few mistakes there. Matthew Klipp sitting in 8th place. He's currently battling. There's a three-way battle here. A scrap for 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Whoa!
They're going to be going 3 wide almost as they head down towards turn number 3. Who's going to emerge from this little battle pack ahead? It's going to be Oliver Cook ahead of Matthew Klipp. But here comes Matthew Klipp again. He's putting the pressure here on Oliver Corker. Let's see if there could potentially be a move. And this part of the racetrack could be unheard of.
And we're on board with Julian Klingmar, who has probably the best view in the house right now.
Definitely. He's watching them, just waiting, potentially for a mistake to happen, because it would definitely help him gain a few positions in this Grand Prix. He's also going to
just touch the
hit the wall himself. As Philip Kraus is closing up on Max Shepard. 4th versus 5th as they head through turn number 16 now. Max Shepard over the sausage curb. This has allowed Philip Kraus to close up massively on Max Shepard. They're almost touching there, so close as they head on to the main straight. Here comes Philip Kraus.
Gonna cut off that pit entrance too.
Side by side as they head down the main straight, activating DRS. Allows him to pull ahead, and Max Shepard pulls into the slipstream to try and claw his way back, but not able to do anything. As they head into turn number 1, so that's Philip Kraus now.
Oh, and he spins!
In this Grand Prix, and Max Shepard's round, and he's very lucky there not to lose a rear wing. He would have severe amount of suspension damage, but all wings are still on the car. He went in rearwards, which was very lucky he didn't lose the rear wing.
Yeah.
As Dan Brantham has now got ahead of Julian Klima, who's lost his front wing.
Uh-oh.
Julian without front wing, something's definitely happened, but Sam Carpenter is starting to challenge Brandon O'Hanlon. As it's all starting to kick off here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Yeah, we figured it would right about this point when the super or the ultra softs would start to wear out, and the super cars, or the super soft cars, I should say, would be coming into their own. Although those tires have got to be starting to wear a little bit. Second life hasn't really started for those things yet, but we're on the 11th lap of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and I'm surprised these ultra softs have lasted this long, to be honest with you. They have to be coming in either this lap or the next lap, or they're going to be on ice.
Yeah, they got to be careful. Skating around on this circuit is bound to end poorly. Sam Carpenter in the slipstream of Brandon O'Hanlon. Let's see if he can make a move this time round. Unless he wants to save more fuel, we shall see. But here we go, into the slipstream. Will O'Hanlon pit? That'll be the main question for Carpenter. He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. He activates DRS. Here we go. He's going to commit to the move. He's going to go to the inside and easily pull ahead. Here comes O'Hanlon, though. He's going to be in the slipstream, trying to claw his way back through. A lock up on the inside front left.
Gotta watch that throttle.
Be very careful not to spin up the rear. You see what happened to his teammate, who's sitting in 6th place at the moment.
No DRS either.
Sam has the DRS because he got it on the main straight.
That's right.
Allows him to pull ahead.
It looks like Quokka and Klipp are starting to hot up a little bit again.
Ah, yes. a favourite dicey battle, but there is a yellow flag actually. There's yellow flag ahead for these drivers, so I believe someone might have gone down the
Someone
escape road.
spun.
It's Sergio Jerez. Sergio Jerez has had an incident. Something has gone amiss for Sergio Jerez. He's down to 7th place. He's being herded here by Matthew Clipp and Oliver Quokka. He's falling into the clutches of this epic battle. Something has happened for Sergio Jerez. I believe it might have been a spin on the exit of turn 3.
Looks like he's kept it off the wall pretty good, though.
He has, but he has now fallen into a very spicy battle indeed. He's actually starting to lose time to Matthew Clipp, so he's got to watch out. Oliver Quokka might go for a move here and put Sergi down into 8th place in this Grand Prix.
That'll be risky.
Danny Robbins is out of the race as well.
It'll be risky for Quokka to go for the move, considering they're on the same tires. You might as well just get into the pits. Oh no, I'm sorry. Quokka's on the super softs.
Well, there you go.
Interesting. Oh, yes.
Oh, big slide from Sergi. Yep, those tyres are cooked.
They're done.
Let's see what Oliver Quokka can do on Sergi Jerez. Will Sergi come in at the end of this lap? We shall see. But Oliver's closing. Gaining. He's going to go to the outside.
Yes, that's going to go into the pits.
DRS. Oh, they're very close indeed. They're both coming into the pit lane. They're both committed. Clip and Jerez into the pits. And Jerez almost spins into the wall. And then Max Shepard also into the pit lane. Mac comes out.
Oh, unsafe release.
Oh, and it's getting very dicey. In the
that was
pit lane
close.
as well. Max Shepard up there might be under investigation for a very illegal pit lane exit. But he comes out back onto the circuit.
I think he'll be
in
okay.
7th place.
Not quite sure exactly if there was contact there, as we don't really have a lot of good camera angles for that specific part of the track, unfortunately. But yeah, there's probably going to be a bit of an inquiry.
Sergio Jerez sitting in 10th place after that pit stop. He's got to wait, obviously, for the cars ahead to pit. But that is not looking good for him in this race if he's going to be finishing in 10th place in this Grand Prix.
Kraus is,
Baxter, his main championship rival, leads.
Kraus is breathing down O'Henlon's neck right now.
This is very close.
This is fantastic. Differing tires as well. Expecting O'Henlon to come in, as pretty much everyone else has, as far as these particular tires go. Although O'Henlon has been racing pretty hard here for 12, almost 13 laps. So, yeah, if O'Henlon doesn't come in now, Kraus should just pass him.
You would think so. You would think. He's starting to close up here in the slipstream just naturally. But you can see there, O'Henlon's indicating he's to the left. He's going to go into the pit lane. Watch out, Philip. And into the pit lane he goes. So that'll promote Kraus up to 3rd. Clip is battling Liss. Yep, it is all happening here. Max Lister leads. Matthew Clip leads Sergio Jerez. The battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th in this Grand Prix. It's all happening as they head onto the main straight. Lister leads this group of cars. But let's see what Jerez can do. He's the only driver here on the ultra soft tyres. The rest are on the regular softs. They're side by side. They're going to almost go 3 wide here as Lister loses 2 places in the space of about 100 metres. As Sergio Jerez wanted to make 2 moves in one straight, but not going to happen. So that's now Max Lister down to.
Oh, someone was off to the
place.
side.
That's Max Shepard down the escape road. And I believe he's lost his front wing as well. So Max Shepard having a torrid race here. In the Thrive, here comes Sergio Jerez. They're going to be side by side now, heading down towards turn number 3. Clip lets him through. And that's Sergio now up into 6th place in this Grand Prix.
He's got a ways to go, though, to get to O'Henlon.
Max Shepard, though, is now going to make his all the way around to back into the pit lane. We shall see if he can do so, but it's a long way for him to get back in there. As we'll see what the leaders are up to. What's Craig Baxter doing? He's leading comfortably by about 15 seconds. Sam Carpenter hasn't pitted yet either, so that's just on raw pace.
What do you think, 20 laps?
As Sam Carpenter comes into the pit lane.
Oh, never mind.
Sam Carpenter into the pits.
He was on super soft, correct?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah, so that was 14 laps for him, 15 technically.
This is very, very close indeed.
He's on normal softs?
Here comes Sam Carpenter. He's going to come out battling Danov Branthome. Branthome, though, I think he yields. Oh, actually, no. Here we go. You could have a little bit of a battle here with Sam Carpenter. They're going to be nose to tail for third place, the final podium position in the race. Branthome hasn't stopped yet, but they're going to be side by side now as they head into turn number 3. Well, Branthome's going to go around the outside.
That was close.
It's a very bold maneuver, but he wasn't able to do it this time round.
Pretty sure a certain guy named Cotton would be impressed with that one.
It's a bold stretch.
It is indeed.
The Carpenter holds on the third. The two cars ahead, Baxter and Kraus are yet to pit. Kraus will slot behind Carpenter, you would imagine, once he does pit. We shall see. Standard breath up, starting to lose a little bit of time to Sam Carpenter. Obviously, fresh tyres for Sam, old tyres for Danov.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out, because Brandon O'Hanlon is closing in on this battle as well. Max Shepard versus Juan, sitting in 12th. Max Shepard now comes out of the pit lane on these soft compound tyres. Should take him, you would imagine, to the end of the Grand Prix.
Thinking so. Single stop setups.
Well, he's had a few more additional stops than he would have liked, I think, Max Shepard.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Due to damage.
Oh, that guy, huh?
Yes, that guy. That guy.
That guy. Don't you hate when that guy shows up? Damage.
Damage. But yes, as we can now see, Branthome yields, and into the pits he comes.
Alright, so he was on supers. Maybe 2 sets of ultras? Will he risk it?
It'd be a very risky strategy, but Max Shepard's closing in on Juan. The 12th and 13th place. As they're getting very close indeed as they head down towards turn number 15 now. Let's see if Max Shepard could potentially make a move here for 12th of this Grand Prix.
Might be able to catch a little bit of slipstream as they make their way towards the start-finish line.
Certainly is. Most certainly will be in the slipstream.
Wow, Juan Palacios is flying right here. He's got those wings turned down quite a bit.
The 1-1 wing special.
Well done
They
there.
go on to the main straight. Max Shepard activates DRS. He wants to close up as much as he can to Juan. He's going to try to go to the outside for turn number 1. Braking heavily. Juan's going to try and hold the inside. Shepard's going to go around the outside. Ooh, did he keep it within track limits?
I don't know.
May have just kept the two wheels over the inside the white line. These two have got to be careful though, because I believe Craig Baxter's coming up behind them to lap him. Lap them both.
Yep, there he is.
Looming large in the mirrors of the back markers.
The big old purple machine. What?
It's running like clockwork, basically. This car, it just seems to be indestructible. Nothing could go wrong for Craig Baxter in this race, or this championship, it seems. He's going to extend his advantage massively over Sergio Heras.
In before Caster's Curse.
Oh well. As Philip Kraus comes into the pit lane and emerges in 4th place, promoting Sam Carpenter and Brandon O'Hanlon up to 2nd and 3rd respectively. Mac Lister demoted down to 9th.
Julian Klinglemar, is it Klingelmar?
Yes, we'll go with Klingelmar, yes.
I don't think it's spelled correctly on here.
Julian.
But yes, Julian, yeah. Running 10th, a fantastic showing. Make that 9th because of pits. But still, he's there.
He's up in the 9th because Max Lister has finally pitted. First time Max has pitted this race. See where he comes out in comparison to the rest of the field. Interesting to see where he'll come out in comparison to Max Shepard as Liam Magnan moves up into 10th place and into the points. It is first race at AOR.
Technically, team member of Craig Baxter.
Yes, but the mod was yet to be updated.
Yeah, you gotta get those cars ready.
Technical issues, graphics designers,
etc., etc.
Yep, etc., etc. As Max Lister comes out in 13th place, behind Juan, Mac, and Liam.
You know, Liam is looking pretty clean. He doesn't look like he's had a foot off pretty much this whole race. Running the soft compounds. I don't think he's pitted yet.
Liam has, yes, he's pitted once. Everyone's pitted once, apart from the leader of the Grand Prix, Craig Baxter, who has just had a couple of seconds taken out of him by Sam Carpenter, who's set the fastest lap of the race. Baxter, though, still going, hasn't yet to pit, might be trying to go onto the softs to go to the end. We shall see, as there's no real close battles at the moment on circuit because they're starting to spread out due to the gaps in the fuel.
This is where all the strategy comes into play, though. Your tire strategy, your fuel strategy. We've seen a couple of drivers in the last couple of rounds try to play with fuel strategy a little bit and then ends up biting them towards the end of the race, where they had to back off a whole ton, and people who obviously conserved fuel ended up finishing much higher than them. Or we've seen people back off too much in the middle of the race when they don't have anybody around them and end up losing positions and holding too much fuel for the weight. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of math calculations need to go in. Oh, Baxter spun.
Craig Baxter has spun. He has spun, and that is the exit of turn number 1. So I don't think he's got any damage, but those tires will be absolutely done for. He'll be coming at the end of this lap, you would imagine. Doesn't want to risk losing any time. Wonder if the lap car was involved there at all.
No, the lap car passed him while he was trying to recover. Luckily, he got out of the way before the lap car came through and used the pit exit to stay off to the side.
That's just a default. Tires are dead. They've given up. He spun round, I think. The old classic. That he's okay. He's still leading this Grand Prix by some margin. Be interesting to see where he'll come out in comparison to Sam Carpenter now that he's lost a couple of seconds with that spin. Sergio Jerez sits in 5th place, just set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 43.529. Craig Baxter there lost. It's going to be about seven or so seconds,
give or take,
with that spin. So we shall see.
Decent recovery for Craig, but definitely within the pit stop delta, and he's going to want to just come in, just stop the bleeding at this point.
What you've got to remember is that he will have significantly faster and fresher tyres when he does come out, if he is to come out behind Sam Carpenter, so he'd make easy work of Sam Carpenter if he does have to pass him on track, given it is clean. But let's see, he'll be coming into this end of this lap, you would imagine, especially with those tyres in the state that they're in.
Looks like it.
Indicates the left-hand side, and in comes the leader of the race, Craig Baxter, into the pit lane. Fairly straightforward there for Craig Baxter. Interesting to see what tyres he'll go into. That's the main question. You'd imagine a set of softs.
Yep,
it is
a set of softs.
Where's he going to come out, though, in comparison with his main rival in this race, Sam Carpenter? Carpenter's currently getting to the pit lane entry now. Craig Baxter's coming to the pit lane exit now. He's going to come out ahead, but he's going to get to be fairly close between the two of them. Craig Baxter comes to the pit lane exit, is heading into turn 2. Sam Carpenter's just coming out of turn 1. So it's about 5 seconds, I'd say, between them. So he's that spin definitely did hurt, but he's back out and ahead.
According to live timing, you are not far off. Yeah, about 4.5 seconds or so. And it looks like O'Henlin is starting to catch up on Carpenter at the same time.
Yeah, this battle could get hot between the two of them. But we shall see. O'Henlin got his first podium last time out in China after the man in front got a massive penalty. But we shall see, he might try and get it on merit this time round. And a 2nd place could be a step up from what he got in China. But in 4th place is Philip Kraus, a few seconds behind. That's Sergio Jerez, who's just a couple of seconds behind Philip, as Sergio's on the ultra soft tyres, hunting down Philip Kraus. But in 6th place, it's actually Dano Brantham, who's had a fantastic performance so far in this race. Has pitted. and his 6th outright as it stands at the moment.
It's a pretty good race for him. He's usually having a little bit of trouble, but later, I think it was late last season, he started to show a lot of promise and starting to figure out the car and things. And obviously, with the car changes, took him a couple of races to really figure it out. He's out here on softs too, and seems to be holding his own fairly well. New team this season, and for whatever reason, I mean, 6th place is not a bad finishing position for him. He'll be looking to improve, I'm sure. And if I remember right, last year this was a pretty good race for him as well, or last season, I should say.
I think it was, yeah. It definitely was a solid race for Dano.
Top 10
yeah.
for sure.
I would think so, yes, from memory.
Need to get our archivist on that. Because
Yeah,
we have
the
one of
stat
those.
man.
We also have one of those.
Fetch me the stat man.
We're just kind of watching Dano right now. Get a feel for how his driving is. Super smooth. Not pushing too hard, it looks like. I think he's running the lower fuel setup right now, just save a little bit of fuel for the end, just to kind of see what happens. But he also has Sergi Harass in front of him. And when you have someone that quick in front of you, you can't see him. There's no real way to know just how far he is unless you got one of those really cool spotter plugins. But at this point, you kind of just don't want to make any mistakes and get to the end of the race without getting past. He's got Matthew Clip behind him, little ways behind, but yeah, I think Dano is feeling pretty safe at this point.
I was just looking at the battle here between Sam Carpenter and Brandon O'Hanlon. The gap is starting to come down a little bit. Brandon took 3/10 out of Sam on that previous first sector alone.
Kraus is flying right now too.
Purple first sector for Philip Kraus. The second faster than his teammates' first sector. And then takes about 6-7 tenths out of him in the middle sector as well. So Philip Kraus is closing on this pack. We've got about 7 seconds or so to gain on these guys. They complete lap 20, or lap 22 now of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Philip Kraus sets fastest lap of the race at 1:43.093.
Look at him, see what he's doing. He was having, I think it was it Kraus that was having the steering inputs earlier? It was very extreme.
Matthew Clip.
Oh, that
Matthew
was Clip, that's right.
Extreme inputs. Be very interesting to see how his tyres are holding up in this Grand Prix.
Let's have a look. Let's see. Where are you?
Sitting in 7th at the moment.
Yeah.
Good result so far for VD.
Maybe that was just a qualifying thing. I know a lot of drivers do change their setups quite a bit, even down to the steering rack. But yeah, that's looking a lot more normal.
Much better.
But you can see that the groove is starting to build in too. There's quite a bit of rubber on the track for now. That's only going to get better and better as time wears on. But of course, it's going to make passing a lot tougher.
Indeed. And there's a car on fire there.
Oh, what?
Sesmir Benatsky is out of the Grand Prix.
Ah, we missed it.
I just saw Brandon O'Hanlon drive past, and Sesmir Benatsky was parked on the side of the road, just on the exit of turn 16, on fire. So Sesmir Benatsky's out of the Grand Prix. He's back into the garage, and that's a horrible way for his Grand Prix to end. Up in flames.
Yeah, you kind of want to make sure you don't downshift too hard.
Yes.
Which I'd be willing to bet is what happened. These cars, the way the gearing is, especially for this track, is a little bit different than, say, oh, I don't know, name any other track. They're not nearly as close, and it's very easy to over rev these on the downshift. Do it too many times, or you might have had it in quali fuel load, which would have completely blown the engine in about a lap and a quarter.
Yeah, it may have been one of those things. I know that when I like to drive this car, I like to do quali runs where I have only the boost mode up, but no boost mode down. I'm going to do the lap, and that'll be it. I can't turn it down. So he may have just accidentally hit the button, and then that's all you can do. You can't turn it down. So we shall see. But I'm having a look at Max Lister and
Same.
Juan, 12th and 13th. Closest battle on the track at the moment. The Zesty racing car hunting down the car in front. We shall see if Max can get past.
Oh, that's a big spin.
That's not going to help. That's not going to help at all. And he's going to let Craig Baxter go through.
He's got to be very careful.
He's got to wait for a few cars to go through, actually.
He could probably spin the car around a bit if he can get a 90-degree spin out of it, but don't want to fry the tires either.
And now he's gonna keep waiting. Now he knows it's time to go. There he goes. And he's back underway. He's lost a lot of time there. But he'll be just trying to get to the end in doing so. But I'm just having a look. The gap has closed a lot between Sam Carpenter and Craig Baxter. Carpenter's closed up. I think Craig just might be taking it a bit easy here in this stage of the Grand Prix. Doesn't need to do too much. He's out in the lead. He can just sort of do what he wants, really.
Well, you know, manage that gap too, because the DRS zone, if you will, just make sure it stays about 2 seconds and you'll be good. And also, you're not giving any sort of momentum towards whoever's behind you. In this case, it's Sam Carpenter. As far as a slipstream goes, just go ahead and knock it back for a little bit. Then when Carpenter gets a little close, maybe crank up the fuel for a little while. Just a lap, maybe. And just save the fuel until a certain point when you need the boost in fuel and maybe even the boost in, you know, quality boost or anything like that to get around a lapped car like I believe he's doing right now, or at least attempting to. Let's see who's in front of him right there.
The car in front, I believe, is Juan.
Yeah, so just have to make sure you don't burn the tires up or get
There's a
stuck
blue
in the
flag
wash either.
warning for Juan. He's got to get out of the way. He's really starting to hurt Craig Baxter. More blue flag warnings there for Juan. He's got to get out of the way. Craig Baxter's closing.
Oh,
and
he's
he
pitting.
does.
He's pitting. Okay. Oh,
Actually,
maybe
no,
he's
just
not.
cut the pit lane entry. He just cut the pit lane entry, so that'll be a penalty there for Juan.
Well, I mean, was he pitting or was he trying to get out of the way? You know, and with Craig had the DRS on too, so.
Either way, he's going to get a penalty for cutting the pit lane entry. He could have moved out of the way and not done that.
Yeah, okay.
He could have done that by backing off about a kilometre ago when he first got the blue flag warning.
Kilometer ago, huh?
Yep.
How long is that back straight anyways? Like 2.5?
Very.
Extremely.
That's my measure. Yeah, extremely. That's how long it is. But Craig Baxter's now extended the gap slightly, and now Juan's getting more blue flags. Sam Carpenter's now going to make his way through and past.
And he does. Palacios doing the best he can to stay out of the way and not run over the car braking sausages.
Destructive sausages. As tell me, look, Philip Krause is starting to close in a little bit on Brandon O'Hanlon. They're the closest battles on track at the moment, and there's a couple of seconds between them, so the field's quite spread out at the moment.
Yeah, but Krause is running purples. He's running a 142.5. Everybody else is in the 43s, high 43s. Definitely cranking it on.
We shall see. We're on coming up to complete lap 25 of the Grand Prix, heading on to lap 26. This is Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
10 to go.
Baxter leads. We can see all 4 cars there, the top 4 in the same frame.
Does kind of become a bit of a lonesome race, especially if you're in like 2nd or 3rd place, although O'Hanlon is starting to really close up on Carpenter.
He is indeed.
Unless that was my timing getting a little bit messed. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a timing glitch right there. Somebody messed with the lasers. I blame the birds.
The burbs. Yeah. It is the best animal to blame when it comes to these things, but Baxter heading into the castle section, lap 26 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Philip Kraus is just sitting around the point of being able to close up on him.
Phil Kraus on Brandon O'Hanlon, you mean? Unless you're talking Sam Carpenter, his teammate.
Sam Carpenter, yes, my apologies.
Let's have a look at Carpenter, see how he's doing. These front stretch top speeds are a good indication as to how the car is doing generally. If you have a little bit of suspension damage, usually a lot of times that'll fall off. And obviously wing damage and things like that, that'll mess with things as well. And we're only hitting 314. Now granted, that's with DRS closed. So not bad. Looks like he's doing okay. Managed to keep his nose fairly clean. Probably a little bit of suspension damage here and there because it's Baku and that's what happens. But definitely going to have to make up some time through the corners because we don't know exactly what Craig Baxter is thinking as far as fuel consumption and things like that. But this is right around the time when you want to start turning that up so you're not too heavy for the end of the race.
Yeah, it's all about calculating it to be perfect. Come the end of the race, as Sergio Perez is in the pits.
Oh,
Coming onto a set of super soft compound tyres to do the final 10 laps of the race. Be interesting to see where he's going to come out in comparison to the rest of the field. He's going to come out ahead of Daniel Brantham, so Sergi locking in 5th place. He's too far behind Philip and ahead of Daniel Brantham.
Danov is right there though.
Yes, but Sergi will have the fresh tyres.
Good point. Yeah, Sergi's got the speed too, unless he's got some damage he's dealing with, which is possible. You know,
Damage.
just Baku damage.
The typical Baku damage.
Maybe
Essentially,
that's what's messing with my lasers. Dang it!
yeah.
Dang it, Baku damage! He said, shaking his fist. The chat is not amused, by the way.
No?
No,
My
chat is not
apologies.
amused at all.
Sorry, chat. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for countless hours.
Have you hit 24 yet?
I did wake up 24 hours ago
Yeah,
for
see.
work, and then I had a couple of hours sleep, like 8 o'clock at night. So numbers, time, days. I don't know what day it is, but all I know is we're currently on lap 28 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Craig Baxter's leading over Sam Carpenter and Brandon O'Hanlon, completing the podium. 3 different teams on the podium. It would be a fantastic sight to see.
Just kind of cycling through here. Brandon O'Hanlon might have a bit of a challenge for Sam Carpenter, depending on how he uses his fuel. O'Hanlon, yeah, right there. And you can see Philip Kraus is fairly close to him. Sergi way too far back, unfortunately, for that to really come into effect, unless there's a big mistake. But, 30 seconds or so is just too far at this point, I think, to really make up a lot of time. That said, Kraus, we've seen him make a few mistakes before, but he's looking very clean right now. He is running a heck of a race.
Indeed. Be very close to see if he can potentially have a crack at O'Hanlon, but you'd imagine if that's going to occur, Sam Carpenter would be under pressure from O'Hanlon as well. As Liam Mangan sets his personal best time. Pulled 6/10 there on Max Shepard, who's battling him for the final point in this race.
First race out, already scoring points. Not bad.
That will certainly impress the team boss if he is to manage to do that.
God, he's looking really smooth too. This is impressive. I got on board with Liam here just to have a look at his lines and just crisp inputs. Oh, a little bit of decent. There we go. And we're back.
We're back.
Crisp
And
inputs.
Dano Brantham is out of the race.
Oh, what?
Thing has gone wrong for Dano Brantham.
There he is in the garage.
I'm gonna have a look to see what happened here for him.
Okay, we'll keep.
I think it's just a straight old disconnect.
There was a big hiccup.
I think it just looks like it's a straight old disconnect for Dano Brantham.
We were on board. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that's gonna promote Liam Magnan up to 9th and Max Shepard into the points.
We were on board there with Liam Magnan right there, and it just everything went to heck. I mean, it looked like he ran into a building, and I guess that's what happened right there. Dano just a little bit too much for the internet connection, it seems.
Julian Kling-Lamar into the pits.
Oh.
For his final stop in the race, you would imagine.
Yeah.
Going onto a set of ultra soft compound tyres. Where will he come out in comparison to the rest of the field? He's going to come out in 10th place. I don't think Juan will be able to get through, so it's Magan up to 8th, Shepard up to 9th, Klingma is 10th, which means Juan will be up to 11th once he passes the pits to overtake Dano Brantham. And he's done that now. Max List will have to do the same, so this could be a fantastic debut here for Liam Magnan if he can get to the end of the race. Lap 30 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The car in front of him is Oliver Corker, who's very far ahead. So
yeah,
Liam's just got to hold on for 8th here, with Max Shepard breathing down his neck.
Kind of having a look there at Julian, looking pretty good. Going on the ultra soft, so obviously that's going to be in part of the plan. Can he catch up to anyone? I don't know.
He's got 5 seconds to Max Shepard in front.
There's potential there.
Pulls them very fast. Oh, Liam's in the wall. Liam is in the wall. He's lost his front wing and he's
stuck
on the front wing. He can't get.
There it goes.
There we go. He's managed to get it going.
Looks like
Liam Magnan. He's lost his front wing.
Oh,
he's sitting in 10th. Where's Juan? Juan's going into the castle section
Baxter
now, so he might be able to hold on to 10th here if he can get it back into the pits and get it repaired.
And he's gonna be flying through here. Though he's got to watch that. All those turns are gonna be very touchy.
Let's see. I'm just gonna sit here and watch Juan to see where he is in comparison. He's going through turns 14 now. He's braking for turn 15 as we speak. Liam
in the pits.
Is into the pits.
Oh, he slams into the wall.
He's lost a wheel and he's out of the race.
Oh God!
The choke of the century. And that is a horrendous way to end your first race in AOR, from hero to zero. In the space of a couple of corners, Juan's going to inherit 10th place. My goodness me. And
I'm just see the tire marks too. Oh God, that's brutal.
I'm just looking at Max Lister's on board now. He's got a very interesting steering angle if he wants to keep the car going straight. He's got a lot of damage on that car. Yep, there's a lot of damage.
That's a bit of damage. Looks like rear damage. Anytime he turns, the rear end wants to step out.
There's a lot of damage. Philip Trass is closing in on Brandon O'Hanlon. He wants that podium.
Bill's been doing this for a little while, man. He is getting very close to that outside wall, coming into that castle turn. Getting on the gas, though. Nice.
Max Lister sits in 11th place. As Philip Kraus is the closest driver on circuit to anyone. And that's Brandon O'Hanlon, the Thrive Vulcan driver ahead, who sits in 3rd place as we're on lap 31 of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Now this is starting to hot up a little bit.
It's getting very spicy indeed.
Oh, what? O'Hanlon in the pits? No, okay. Just a little server desync there.
He's weaving, actually. He's trying to break the slipstream, I think. A little bit of a debate from Brandon O'Hanlon.
I think in this league we call it the Baxter because of China.
Right, I see.
Yes. being real smart about it, though. There's plenty of space between them. Although I
There is
don't
indeed.
know if that will really break much of a slipstream, more like dirty air than anything else. Oh, man, getting on the gas a little bit early on that one. But O'Hanlon is looking a touch panicky. He's just got to calm down, run his race. And if he just has to remember that Phil has to pass him. If he keeps his line and Phil passes him, then okay. But if O'Hanlon is weaving all over the place, as Kraus just gets a little bit too crazy on the gas there. But if O'Hanlon is weaving all over the place and he runs into Phil, yeah, that's going to be very bad.
Big yikes, you could say. It's probably the best way to describe that.
Can we go with extra large yikes with a side of
The
oof?
largest... Oh, the largest yikes possible. As they head into turn 15, he's getting very close to Philip Kraus to Brandon O'Hanlon. They are on lap 32 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Sam Carpenter goes purple in the middle sector.
Carpenter make a run for the lead. He could, potentially.
It'd be extraordinary if he was to do that. Sergio Heras with a very, very, very poor first sector. Something's happened there to Sergio, I believe.
Have a look.
And it is indeed. He's got no front wing. Sergio Heras is without front wing.
And so is the lapped car behind him that he just passed.
Ah, so there must be a little bit of lapped incident.
Oh,
And
whoa!
into the wall. Oh my goodness me. He's got to be very aware of the fact that there is no front wing on that car and he's going to lock up. Oh, he's got to be so careful. Now, the real test is, will he fail the Mangan test into the pit lane entry? He's got to be well aware of the fact that that has happened. Philip Kraus is closing on the Henlon, but will focus now on Sergio Heras making his way back into the pit lane. Oh!
We're on board with Sergi.
Sergio Heras on a knife's edge as he heads out down towards the pit lane entry. Will he be brave enough? Will he be smart enough to head into the pit lane entry?
No, he's got to slow down. Oh, careful.
He's very close. And
that was actually very beautiful, I have to admit.
Made it through.
That was
But
fantastic
back to the
stuff.
action for the final podium place. Philip Kraus versus Brandon O'Hanlon. It's very, very close indeed. They're on lap 33 of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The gap is less than a second between the two of them.
This is getting dicey.
Applying the blowtorch. He is indeed. It's getting so close. We've got Sergi in the pits. Max
Whoa!
might be able to get ahead. Big snap of oversteer there as Juan's also in the pits. So it's all happening. And Max Lister's actually had the worst first sector of anyone this entire race. A minute 16. That's damage is really starting to hurt him. Damage aplenty all up and down the field. A race of attrition as it has turned out to be.
It's turned into Le Mans.
As Julian is back into the pits as well. So Julian pitted only a couple of laps ago and is now also back into the pit lane.
Now, mind you, there has been no passing. Nobody's been close enough to pass until right now with Kraus on O'Hanlon for the podium. These are all personal mistakes. Although Kraus is getting very close here.
Fatigue is under kicking, I believe. Lap 34 of 36. There's a lock up and a spin there for Brandon.
Oh, they collect!
Collided.
Does Kraus still have a wing? Yes, he does.
He does. It's a slightly dodgy overtake, but he's up into the podium places. Is Philip Kraus up into third place? Be interesting to see if he gives that place back or if he's just said, "Well, mate, you spun round.
I mean, he
I'm
spun.
going to take the place." So there we go. Philip Kraus up into third.
I mean, Kraus had nowhere else to go. Let's face it.
That's a good
There
point.
was just no way to correct after that, and he did the best he could to limit the damage, and it looks like there isn't too much damage to either car, other than O'Hanlon's pride being a little bit, speared by a wing. But other than that, I mean, Kraus has basically just released himself at this point. I don't know if O'Hanlon has any other damage, though.
Juan's round. Juan is round as well. He's had a massive incident, and he's having to slow down to let the cars through ahead. And that is allowing Max Lister to also close up on him. So it's all happening here in the final stages of this Grand Prix. Craig Baxter is heading up to the main straight to start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix.
You can see the battles in the distance.
It's all happening all around him. As the current running order, it's Baxter ahead of Carpenter, ahead of Kraus, ahead of Henlon, ahead of Klipp, Qualker, Horaz, Shepard, Klinglemar, and Juan Palacios. Sitting in 10th place, Max Lister, the only other runner that is not in the top 10.
somehow still running.
We've lost Mangan, Brantham, Benatsky, Robbins, Niminen, and Chadwick didn't even make the start. But O'Hanlon's not giving up. He's still keeping
Still going.
within touching difference for Philip Kraus.
He's closing up too. It looks like Henlon is pretty good on the brakes. He's just got to make sure he doesn't spin out through the center of the corner. And it's really easy to do here. If you get on like that throttle just a little bit early and you're still on the rumble strips, forget it. You're going around.
Klingmar's back in the pits again.
That's the 9th place runner.
He's having another pit stop. He's got to be careful. He's revving his engine a lot here in the pit lane. Be very careful not to pop his engine. That's a lot of steering damage there for Julian Klingler. Got to be careful.
Oh, God, yeah, that's a lot. Even his wheel is shaking.
That's a lot of steering damage, yep. He'll be lucky to make it to the end of this race, and it'll be sideways.
Cool. You know, this is an F1 car, not a drift car. You might want to
Rally cross.
Might want to do that one. It's only rallycross we go across the gravel.
Good point. He'll manage to find some. As Craig Baxter comes onto the main straight to start the final lap of the race. It's been a very dominant performance by Craig Baxter. The slight spin earlier on in the race didn't hurt his confidence too much. He's kept Sam Carpenter at arm's reach throughout the entire race.
Yeah, it's been fairly clean for him.
Klingler is out of the race.
He didn't make it.
He didn't make it, which means Max Lister's going to be promoted up into the points. 1 point for Max Lister as it stands. If he can get by. Be actually interesting to see because of the cars have been lapped. Don't know if he'll be able to complete enough laps to get ahead of Julian, but we shall see. Depends where he's on the circuit.
Baxter coming into the castle section at this point. He's keeping it off the walls, keeping it smooth, trying to not allow for any close up between him and Carpenter. Now Carpenter is about 1.5 seconds behind. That's just not going to be enough. Even with DRS, it's just not going to be enough.
No, I don't think so. It's been very, very dominant here from Craig Baxter. It's been a fantastic performance throughout the entirety of these 36 laps. He comes round what is effectively the final racing corner in terms of braking and accelerating. He's going to run towards a line, flat out up towards the start-finish line. It's very close between Juan and Max, but we'll focus on Craig. We'll see him cross the line. He's going to come towards the line. It's going to be Craig Baxter who's going to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fantastic performance by him. What a race for Craig Baxter. But let's see, Sam Carpenter comes through for second place, but the battle is happening between Max Lister and Juan as they're going to be slipstreaming here towards the line. This could be it for Max Lister. This could be 9th place if he can hold it correctly. They're going to be side by side. It's not going to be close enough, I don't think. It's going to be very, very close. Is Max able to do it? I think he does. He does grab it right at the end.
Just
9th place for Max Lister. Right at the end. What a fantastic, fantastic result there for Max Lister.
If there was
Craig Baxter. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's any time to lose a front wing, it was right then, but they didn't. So I guess it's all right.
But Craig Baxter wins ahead of Sam Carpenter, Philip Kraus, Brandon O'Hanlon. Matthew Klipp's going to come through for 5th place ahead of Oliver Quilker. Sergio Jerez sits in 7th place ahead of Max Shepard, Max Lister, Juan Palicos, and that was the only 10 finishes in the race. We had 7 retirements, or we had 6 retirements and 1 DNS.
Yeah.
Julian Klingler, Liam Mangan, Dan O'Brantho, Sesmin Benatsky, Danny Robbins, and Artur Newman not finishing the race, and Kieran Chadwick didn't even make the start.
And for the newcomers to this series, who, this is their 3rd race of the season, this one, if you don't know the car, you know it now because of this track. And going into next week will be definitely interesting for those involved. Zach, do we want to try to get some interviews going? Do we risk it?
We shall see. Do we risk it? A very spicy race? We shall. We shall see who we can find.
We'll have to jump over to back into the AOR Discord.
Yes, we shall do that now. We shall be back with the driver interviews. They've all disappeared.
Oh,
All 3 drivers are gone. We've got no interviews. We're
typical.
very sorry, but
Kappa.
typical. Typical. But, we hope you enjoyed that Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A fantastic race in the end,
Indeed.
with battles aplenty and crashes aplenty, typical of Baku. But we shall see you on the 17th of November for a race that can possibly top that. The streets of Monte Carlo for the Monaco Grand Prix. It is going to be incredible
Yeah,
seeing these drivers race around there.
yeah. You know, Monaco's one of those hit and miss tracks, especially with cars like this. You know, if you don't have that setup right, you're just so slow, and it's very, very frustrating. But when you do nail that setup, it's just flowing and perfect, and nobody's hitting you because
Yeah.
Streets of Monaco.
It'll be incredibly close, but we shall see you on the 17th of November for the Monaco Grand Prix. I've been Zach Jones. Curtis Kenyon's been alongside me.
Hello.
We shall see you in Monaco.